All right. Let's see if YouTube decides to allow it to go live on my channel today. Or we'll see if... oh, God. Oh, what is this? What is that?
Congratulations, Tom Grossi, to the Packers Fan of the Year. Everybody go vote so we can turn this Fan of the Year nominee into the
You have to plug it in, Brandon.
actual Fan of the Year.
Oh, it is plugged in. You did that. Wow, you plugged that in for me? That's a lot of work. You know
Hurry
what?
before it shorts my circuit.
Yeah, no problem. We here.
We steer.
You in the right direction. Welcome to another edition of the Grossi Perna Show. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna, and this is a G, a P, S. I could have gone so much longer.
One day is Fan of the Year, and you bring that back, huh?
Excuse me, I didn't do the harsh S because people wearing headphones were like, it's a little tough. So that was a compromise, okay? That was me compromising.
Okay.
Some would call it the great compromise. Some people are calling it that. I don't know. You know, I'm calling it that. Oh, Tank Bowl tomorrow, baby. We got lots to talk about, folks. Welcome to GPS. Appreciate you being here. There's a lot. There is a lot to talk about. We're going to talk about playoffs, because we're officially halfway through the season, right?
We are.
Last week 9, so we did it. Appreciate you, Navy. Not 4th and 26. Don't like that. But before we get to that, Brandon, did you get a chance to watch Monday Night Football?
Yes. And if I'm being honest, it's probably the least I watched a primetime game for this entire NFL season.
But why?
Well,
it was so good.
Yeah, it looked so good.
Oh, so good.
I was doing dad duties, and usually I'm doing that, and I got the game on my phone. I'm bringing it with me in every room, switching TVs as needed. I just didn't care about that game so much. But that being said,
that's weird though, really.
The Chargers were lucky to get that early special teams touchdown, and also to have basically every Jets receiver ever, going all the way back to Jericho Cotchery, just drop passes in that game. Like, oh, here's a touchdown. Just kidding, Jets fans. We're just going to drop that. Hey, we brought in Alan Lazard to drop this pass. So, I don't know. Maybe Aaron Rodgers spins the ball a little bit differently. The game was ugly. It was boring. Every Jets game is going to be boring, though, Tom. That defense is just too good. The Jets defense it's very good, and it makes for painful football.
What are you talking? I mean, I, for one, cannot wait for Thursday Night Football when we got, the good old Panthers Bears. But then Sunday night, we got Jets Raiders. Come on now. Come on, Sunday Night Football. This is prime time, baby. This is prime time. Because everyone wanted Jimmy Garoppolo versus Aaron Rodgers on Sunday Night Football when it was originally supposed to be slated.
Yeah.
But it would be Devontae Adams against, Rodgers, so I could guess that. But now it's just sad.
Yeah, Rodgers, Adams, right?
But there will be a lot of Aaron Rodgers, Devontae Adams, I'm sure, on, the sideline. There'll be a lot of cameras around and, embracing. So that'll be nice. That will be nice. The game will
I bet pregame Aaron Rodgers starts kicking field goals just to really get everybody excited.
That's what I'm thinking. Appreciate you, Ben. Thank you. Yeah, that game was awful. It wasn't the worst game of the year for me, though.
No.
No, it wasn't the worst game of the year. That might be Chargers Bears, like, because that was just, it was a blowout. It was boring. It was just.
I watched a good chunk on the Manning cast, and thank God, because that was actually, I guess I did end up watching a lot of that game.
Okay.
I forgot. Right. Yeah, the Manning cast sucked me in.
Arnold Schwarzenegger feeding a donkey.
Yeah, you had Schwartzy. They had Trevor Lawrence in there, and then mostly it was just when it was Eli and Peyton, and that's when you know a game is boring, is when I feel like they're having a hard time making it entertaining.
Yeah,
and they just kept the dead horse they were beating was that the Chargers or the Jets. I think the Jets. They weren't chipping any of the Jets, the edge rushers. The Jets were not chipping, and Eli felt betrayed that Zach Wilson said that they were going to be chipping in this game to give him some time to make some throws, some shit like that. I forget. Okay. Here's my thing with the Jets, though, because I did want to I wanted this talking point, and I was writing this for Power Rankings yesterday. Literally, as I'm writing how stupid the Jets are for not making a move to sign Carson Wentz. It's one of those just like mind meld moments. Carson Wentz gets signed by the Rams. And I'm like,
yep.
I respect that Robert Saleh defends Zach Wilson, right?
Sure.
New York media, it's ruthless. You need a coach who's going to have your back. Like
even Mike Tomlin, right? Like he just did that for Kenny Pickett because they were like, how do you feel about him in the first through third quarter? He's like, have you seen him in the fourth quarter? Like, of course you want him to play better, but it's just like, hey, like that's a coach going to bat for his guy. Sorry, continue.
No, that's a good point and a good interjection, if you will. But what bothers me about the Jets specifically is they're in this weird situation, right? Where maybe Rodgers actually can come back. Maybe the man with the oddest relationship with science in pro football might defy medical science and come back if they can get in the playoffs. But I don't believe they can get into the playoffs with Zach Wilson. And I think Robert Saleh is right. And like, I'm not going to in the last game wasn't even it was not a lot of it was not Zach Wilson's fault. But we have seen him not elevate that team at all, right? Like they're just relying on that defense. Wilson's hoping to not make too many mistakes. And if their run game was like crazy good right now, and it's not with Breece Hall, maybe you could make the argument. But I just think there was a guy like Carson Wentz sitting out there, and I'm not a Carson Wentz fan. That dude drives me nuts. I have been hard on Carson Wentz, but I think he would be a big upgrade over Zach Wilson to carry the Jets in a few games.
Oh, it's you today. Good. I'm so glad it's you and not
my
me
stream's broken. How's my stream broken?
It might just be lagging. I'm telling you, dude. Like YouTube, these past this was like week and a half now. Hasn't been great. YouTube, get it together.
Get it together. Anyway,
sorry. Continue.
Hopefully, it's back. Am I back? Stream is fine for me. Okay. It felt like we saw Josh Dobbs go in there for the injured Kirk Cousins, play well, got him a win right away. It just seems odd to me that the Jets haven't made a move to give them that security where if they do get in the playoffs and they get Aaron Rodgers back, they're in a spot to maybe win a game there. So,
well, the issue is though, Perna, like there's so many issues, is that Rodgers went on McAfee, I think it was last week, and it was last week or 2 weeks ago, because he's kind of teasing this, right? He's just like, oh, he's trying to be like, oh, I won't be back, but he's like, I kind of will be back at some point. And then you've got the Jets coming out and saying like, we expect him to be back, which is crazy. He's talking to Derwin James at the end. He's like, a few weeks. He's like, I didn't know that there would be cameras around. And I'm like, all right, well, I don't know how much I believe that, but whatever. It is what it is. So the issue, Zach Wilson was sacked 8 times on Monday night. 8 times.
Yeah.
Right? So that's an issue.
That's probably it's not a great Jets line, but that's also a Zach Wilson stat, right?
Sure. Absolutely. 100%. Yeah, it's not all on the offensive line. Some of it is on Wilson. 100%. I will also say on top of that is Rodgers isn't even going to sniff the field unless there is like a, hey, you can come in. There is a very unlikely chance you're going to get re-injured, right? So that's a whole nother thing. So that's going to take a while because they're not going to push him because God forbid he gets injured again. That would be a disaster. And then 3, they also have to be in a spot where they're going to be contenders, where Aaron Rodgers could go in and make a difference. Because if they're sitting there at the end, and they got like 8 wins, 9 wins, Rodgers ain't coming back unless like they're definitely getting a playoff spot. And like your point is like, you don't even know if they can get to that point with Zach Wilson currently.
Which I guess will determine today when we say which teams are actually going to get into the playoffs. But it's like, I think there are options out there to upgrade over Zach Wilson to give him a chance because it has to be in the playoffs. And that's where Rodgers could possibly come back.
Yeah.
Because if that was not the plan, then it's like, why even keep winning, New York? You didn't win on Monday night, but why even try to win?
Which part? The part where he was like, free me, wants out? Which part?
Yeah.
What?
I wrote a little bit about this too, because Tomlin said the George Pickens free me and deleting his Steelers Insta stuff. He called it a pebble in his shoe in terms of distraction.
Mike Tomlin's like, I've dealt with Antonio Brown.
Yeah.
Like, George Pickens is going to have to do a lot more than that to ruffle me. I mean, I get it. Again, like, you're not having a good time on that Steelers offense, but you're still winning games, and like, there is still an entire other half of the season to try and figure it out, and the benefit is, like, you have a really good defense. The downside is you're in the AFC North, which is, just the mosh pit of divisions right now. But yeah, I want to go back to the Jets though real quick because you want them to sign Carson Wentz because did you just think like that would give them a better opportunity?
I was just like, what quarterbacks are actually available for the getting? Because they didn't make a move before the trade deadline, so they can't trade for anybody, right? It's like, well, oh shit, I keep forgetting Carson Wentz is a free agent. Like, how crazy is jerseys. That? And I started looking at like what he was doing when he was playing. I'm like, man, he'll have a game where he turns the ball over, right? And he does not play well. But for the most part, I think he could come in and play. He could outplay Zach Wilson on pretty much every level if the Jets allowed him to. But then he signs with the Rams. And then that's, to me, that is what I live for while watching football.
We'll talk.
The Rams draft Jared Goff 1 overall. The Eagles traded up and took Carson Wentz 2. The Rams trade away Jared Goff for Stafford. Now they have Carson Wentz. They had Jalen Ramsey. They had Leonard Floyd, all from the 2016 draft. So they've had 3 of the top 5 picks from that draft on their roster. 4 of the top 10 picks on their roster.
Yep.
And it looks like, obviously I think that's probably an indicator that Stafford's going to miss a little bit of time with that thumb injury. And now I'm just straight up curious to watch Carson Wentz go in there and play and see what happens. So,
yeah, I don't know, man. Like, I don't know if Carson Wentz is going to do better because, like, he didn't look good last time either. Like, that he played his last and he didn't look good either. So, and he's behind another bad O-line. I don't know. It's just, I feel like that move would maybe indicate, I feel like that's more of a fan move. And what I mean by that is something to appease the fans. Because literally, we were 10 minutes into that game and ESPN's already showing miserable Jets fans. Like, they're trying to hype them. They're like, can't wait to see you at the game, folks. Like, let's go. Like, you're getting dragged out there and you're going to see a terrible offense. Like, that's just what it is. And it's frustrating because you have a great defense, a defense that is a championship caliber defense. It's just the other side of the ball is just, it is not complimentary at all.
Yeah, but I think like the Rams, they noted that Brett Rippon is not the guy to be a backup. And they're in a winnable-ish situation. They were until they lose to the Packers. So that's why they go out and get Carson Wentz, because I think he is definitely an upgrade over Brett Rippon. And I would definitely argue he's an upgrade over Zach Wilson. And I'm not saying Carson Wentz is a savior or anything.
Sure.
But I think he could win the Jets enough games to have gotten them into the playoffs. Now what they need to do is go get Chad Kelly. Pull him from the Canadian Football League and give Swag Kelly a chance. You know who the Jets' backup is, Tom?
Randall
Trevor
Cobb.
Simeon right now.
Nice.
And I think he would be an improvement over Zach Wilson.
He might. By the way, with that entire logic, the Ravens did the exact same thing, but a lot better. Just an FYI. A lot better. They beat a top 10 team, and they annihilated them. So that's why. That's why number 2.
Just wait till you see where I put the Ravens.
Oh, God. I don't even want to know. I don't even want to know. I was asked before, Robert was asking about Miami being a one-and-done team. So that was like my big controversy, that's spoilers, of the week for power rankings. I didn't put the Dolphins in the top 10. I didn't. And I, again, like the Dolphins a lot.
Fool's gold. You're running a fool's errand.
Are you going to sit
don't rush
there?
in.
Are you going to
Fool me
sit there?
once.
I'll let you get it out.
All right, go ahead.
Are you actually going to sit there and even say anything about my power rankings when you put the Broncos at 1?
Yeah,
the answer is no.
Your power rankings are ridiculous.
The answer is no. So
your power rankings are a problem.
It's quiet time now. It's quiet time. Quiet time. So I didn't put that, but seriously, I didn't put the Dolphins in the top 10.
Wow.
Because, like, dude, like, it's like, no. Like, you got to just beat a better team. And now, I could see them as, like, 10 instead of, like, the Seahawks or something. But, man, it's so frustrating. Because I'm just like, come on, man. Like, that offense is so good. I really like what they did on defense against the Chiefs in that second half. But you got to beat a winning team, man. Like, you got to.
I think it's a bit of an overreaction. And I get it. Yeah, they got to beat some winning teams. But they played basically the best or second best defense in the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
And the Dolphins' defense is getting better. They're going to get Achane back.
Offense. And every time they go up against a decent team, their best offense does not look like a good offense. That's my problem.
When's their next? What's their next? When's their next one? Dolphins.
They are not playing, I don't think, this week.
They on the bye?
I believe so. I just
No, they got they got the bye. Then they got the Raiders. Okay. They'll beat the Raiders. Then they got the Jets.
That'll be tough.
Not a good team, but we'll see. We'll see if that offense can do that. Commanders.
Yep.
Titans. Jets again. Cowboys. They got the Jets twice, the Ravens, and then they close it out of the Bills, and the Titans defense pretty underrated. So
yeah,
if you have concerns about the Jets or the Dolphins offense, I get it. I'm not overly concerned. But by the end of the season, you'll know for sure if they're a playoff team. Yes. Like, even if they're in the playoffs, but people are like, they're kind of fraudulent. If they can get through the Jets twice, the Ravens, and the Titans, they'll be all right.
And I just want to see, like, one game. Like, go up against, like, a good... If they beat the Ravens, I'll be like, yep, let's go. Right back on board. And again, I think the Dolphins are a very good team. I think it's just gotten to a point for me where I'm like, I need proof. I'm at that point where, like, now I need proof. Because it's just not consistent enough where I'm like, Because, again, they'll drop 70 points on you, and then, you know, like, they won't show up against the Bills. You know, like, it's just a little frustrating. I would say. So, appreciate it, Robert.
I don't know about 70 points. I've never seen him do that.
Oh, you never seen him?
Never seen 70 points scored.
Pretty sure you got 1 million views on the video where you saw that.
Blacked out for that week.
Did you? I mean, now we're just splitting hairs here. I used your
How about we get
logic.
1 million viewed video where I'm happy about my football team, huh, guys?
No, that's not going to happen. No. Are you kidding me? I wrote the Packers finally won. Nobody watched it. It's just like, we don't care. Get back to suffering, Tom.
Yeah.
So, hey, appreciate you. No, the injury was as bad. It's they put in a speed bridge. Like, that was the whole thing for like a couple of weeks. They were diving into the surgery, and it's this new speed bridge so to allow him to heal faster. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy. Like, it's nuts that he's even throwing a football around and walking without crutches. But, like, there's also a huge difference between what he's doing now and playing football.
Yeah.
And I think, like, it's nice to see 100%. Like, he's walking, he's throwing. That's awesome. But as of last week, I don't know if that's changed this week, he was like, I'm not even jogging yet.
Yeah.
So, he's going to need to run too behind that offensive line. He is going to need to run.
He has 2.5 months or about just a little over 2 months. How quickly did Cam Akers come back from his torn Achilles?
He tore it. It was under it was 10 months or something, right? Like,
no, I feel like it was faster than that. He tore it in the summer and he returned that season.
So did he tear it in like July or August?
I can't remember.
Because I remember if it was camp or not.
I'm trying to see here. Let's see. 2020. 2021.
Just saying.
When did he come back?
You tell me.
I'm trying to find it. Somebody tell us. Somebody knows.
Out of respect. That is true. It's part logic. But I think it's going to be, if he comes back, it would be January, like mid-January. Like, I'm thinking like those last like couple games, maybe. And again, that's pushing it.
Yeah.
So, and it's going to hope you have no setbacks. You don't have any of that stuff. Those were the good old days, William, for the 49ers. It was. Yeah, was it 6 months? 5 months. Okay.
5 months. Boom.
Damn.
Anything is possible. See, but that's like it's right on the brink there. Also, but like, I guess
Jackson.
Running back to me feels like that's much harder to feel comfortable with returning on an Achilles injury than playing quarterback.
Because you're the running back you're talking about?
Yeah. You're driving force into that. You're cutting.
Mm-hmm.
Rodgers just got to. He ain't going to want to run anyway. He's going to have 1.5 seconds to throw the football behind that Jets line. So it's just going to be rhythmic, quick release.
And Zach Wilson had some time on some of them, but
all he's going to do.
I get you. So July and January. Okay. Yeah. I mean, we'll see. I mean, the big difference is how old is Cam Akers and how old is Aaron Rodgers. Like, that also is a factor. But yeah. I'm interested to see what the Jets do going forward. Like, are they going to make let's throw Simeon in there and see what happens? Because if they start losing more consistently, because they put that little win streak together and it was ugly wins, but they were winning. So that's all that mattered, because they're basically just taking a bucket and throwing the water out of the boat and just hoping, with a hole in it, and just hoping by the time Rodgers gets back to fill the hole, like, they won't be sunk.
That's basically Flex Seal. Gotta get that Flex Seal. They should have fixed his Achilles with Flex Seal when you think about it.
Oh,
he'd be back right now if they just used Flex Seal.
Weld it.
Not a sponsor of today's show, Flex Seal, but
Well, there you go. Matt Barkley. Yeah, dude, the Giants too. Oh my god. Poor Daniel Jones. Like, Daniel Jones is out for the year. They're a mess too. Like, it's not good for the Jersey teams right now.
Yeah.
It's not good.
The Giants missed expectations harder than any football team this year. I don't know. Maybe. I think if it was, they would have traded him. So we'll see.
Fair enough.
Ooh, who goes first, Judy or Russ Wilson? That's the real question.
Will Levis, by the way, for the Titans, named the starter, and Ryan Tannehill is now the backup, which 1,000,000% is the right move.
No shit, Sherlock.
That is the 1,000,000% right move. I don't even know why that's. It's like, Ryan Tannehill, who threw 2 touchdowns all season. Yeah, we're gonna throw Will Levis back there. Simeon, win up, Benny!
Boom
for the kitty. Hey, let's go. I appreciate you. We are actually going to talk about that. Which teams we think are going to go to the playoffs today. That is going to be our discussion. We'll take a look at the current playoff picture as well. And yes, I do think the Bills are in danger of missing it. Now, I will say, though, that AFC East is wide open.
Yeah.
It is, because we're talking about the Jets. We're talking about the Dolphins. We're talking about the Bills. Yeah. The Dolphins, I would say, probably have the best shot out of all of those teams. The Patriots are the Patriots. But the Dolphins have the best shot because I believe in them to, like, when Achane comes back, that they're going to get better. Especially on that ground game. But yeah, Bills, I'm concerned about too. And Perna's been talking about this. If the Broncos beat the Bills on Monday night,
and they're gonna, The Broncos are going to get Sean McDermott fired. Prediction.
If the Broncos beat them, I mean, like, it'd be rough, man. That would be
Broncos
rough.
are they're probably the most under the radar team right now.
Who?
The Broncos.
Oh boy.
They really are.
It's
They've
because their
won 2 in
defense
a
looks
row.
very
They
good
beat
against the
Kansas
Chiefs.
City. Okay.
Yes.
2 in a row, beat Kansas City. If you take out that stupid Dolphins game, they're not the worst in defensive yards allowed. All those stats that they're still just trying to climb back into being like a normal team.
Because they had 70 dropped on them. Yeah.
And I'm not saying they are definitely good. Okay. I'm not saying that. Because of Russell Wilson. I just don't trust. I don't think I can ever trust Russell Wilson as an NFL quarterback. Okay?
I got you, Simeon. There you go. That's for the Bills.
But that Dolphins game was so bad. The Commanders game was so heartbreaking. They lost to the Jets. Nobody's paying attention to the fact that they've been playing better, that their defense is playing better. They have to back up what I'm saying by beating the Bills in prime time. If they do that, if they beat the Chiefs, then beat the Bills in prime time, we're talking about a playoff football team. We're talking about a playoff football team, Tom Grossi.
So weeks ago, I created a video called How to Be a Fan of a Bad NFL Team. And I was like, hey, Brandon, do you want to record some stuff for that? And Brandon's like, yeah, I want to record some stuff for that. I didn't even give him any directions. I said, all right, buddy, you just record and I'll react to it. It's all good. And his whole speech, which was about like a minute, 20 seconds long, was about how dangerous hope is. And that as a fan of a bad team, you can't have hope. And now Brandon Perna is sitting here right now as we head into week 10 saying that the Broncos, if they beat the Bills, they are now a playoff team.
Yeah, we're not a bad team anymore. Breaking news, the Broncos are no longer bad.
Yes, Justin, the Giants also should blow it up. They should blow it all up. Like, blow the offense, it's gone. It's gone. Keep the rookie wide receiver, gone. Saquon too. Bye. Get it, Brandon. You actually, like, so if they beat the Bills, you're just like full speed ahead. Playoffs, here we go.
I am buying tickets to the playoffs, baby.
I don't think they're on sale, buddy.
Well, I'm going to send in some cash to Walmart and say, hold my tickets.
But even on top of that, do you think you would actually get a home game?
This team, it don't matter home or road. I'll follow them into the fiery pits of hell. Because that's where we've been. Like, oh, you want to go back into hell? Sure, fine, whatever.
Carl ain't laughing.
I'll keep quiet until after Monday Night Football.
You'll keep quiet. We're just like, I'm just saying. So, Mr. I'm always on the Bills side is just like, nope, gotta put him in the dirt now.
Well, for this week, yeah, I gotta root for the Bills to lose.
You just said that you would get their head coach fired.
I think it's time. I think McDermott's getting stale.
Let's go.
I think McDermott's getting stale. Well, they need an offensive coordinator change. Their offense is, I don't know. It's efficient, but they don't score enough. They don't score when they need to.
It is a good race. You
know what? I think the Broncos have a better chance of getting the playoffs than I do to hit on any single underdog pickup. So, instead of pick'em today,
I'll answer. Does anyone else? I'll answer that.
Because there's lots of different games you can play in underdog fantasy. Okay? There's lots. I'm doing Battle Royale.
Shield your eyes.
$5 entry. $250K in prizes. I'm playing against the field, trying to build the best, highest scoring fantasy team against everyone in the Battle Royale. So we just got to wait for this draft to fill. And I am going to draft, let's see here. Eckler versus Detroit. Don't love it. Kamara versus Minnesota. I'll take it. This is a good game. Burrow versus Houston. Oh, I'm 6th pick. So that means I get back-to-back picks in here, Tom. Let's see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I should be picking in the Burrow, ETN, Andrews. Did you know Mark Andrews has diabetes?
Yes.
I just learned that today.
Yeah, because that clip came out that like every time he has to go to the sideline, right? They had to check his
Blood sugar.
Yep.
Jay
It was
Cutler
pretty
had that.
crazy.
Everyone's like, "Oh, Jay Cutler must be moody because he's had diabetes this whole time." Nah, he was just moody. All right. So I'm getting back in it. They do have pick'ems. You can pick them. You build the pick'em team higher, lower stat total.
Symptom of
fantasy.
diabetes? Oh, you'd be a little moody.
Yeah, Underdog asked if I could interject diabetes into the draft picks, and I said, sure. I said, please, let's give a little bit of medical advice and caution America to eat more healthy. Although I think type 1 diabetes, that's a genetic thing, right?
I'm just letting you go and seeing where you
make insulin cheaper. That's what I say.
That's good, Brandon. Yes, that is good. See, he finds his way. He'll eventually find his way. It's Michael Scott. Sometimes I just start talking.
Oh, I do that a lot. Here's the thing. Insulin.
Hold on. I want to just set this context here. You're doing an ad read for Underdog while a draft is going on, and now you talked about diabetes and how apparently a side effect is being moody, and now you're talking about the price of insulin. Continue.
Yeah.
GPS. Everyone.
Insulin should not cost more than playing in a battle royale fantasy tournament here on Underdog Fantasy. Oh, you took Amon-Ra, you son of a bitch! Oh, that was going to be my pick. Dang it. Okay. Ooh. Give me Kamara and give me Gibbs. Bam. There we go. First two picks, Kamara and Gibbs. Just one. And you can too with code GPS. Also, the $500 matching, done. If you didn't take advantage of it, sorry. Back to $100. Your first deposit still matched by Underdog Fantasy, but the big $500 matching, over. Greatest ad read in NFL football history, they say.
Insulin should not cost more than the price of a battle royale for Underdog. You know what, though? Dude, I'm not even gonna lie. You got the age, you got the following. You should run for president. Because if you're able to take corporate sponsorship and interject it into policy, I mean, you're going to fit right in. So
that's right. I could be governor of Ohio, I think.
We just got Wiggle Eyes there, so.
Sure. There was a clip on Instagram I saw last night of it said like Boomer shuts down karaoke, and it was just in a bar. Okay. And some dudes were doing like some sort of I don't know, like a death metal song, and they're just screaming. And this old man, who it's like his karaoke equipment, just comes down and shuts down the operation and starts going off about the guys screaming into the microphone how they're gonna break his karaoke equipment. And he's like going, "You can't just go into the microphone." And this is in a bar, and people start like booing the old man, telling him to leave.
Get off my lawn.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
So this is what people think I am? I'm the old man shutting down the karaoke?
Shut down I'm taking my karaoke machine and going home.
That's right.
Anyway, yes, Jacksonville does need to, I mean, listen, Jacksonville has the longest win streak right now in the NFL. Their defense is playing really well. It's just their offense has too many inconsistencies, but they're still winning in spite of that. So I think they're a good team. It's going to be a really good test against the 49ers, though. It has to be a really, really good test. That's going to be a fun game.
I'm back up. Let's see. Who do I take next? This is a real question. See, I do not like Lamar versus the Browns. That's troubling.
All the copium. Lions do have a very fortunate schedule. They really, really, really do. Well, that's a great question, Justin. Yeah, what happens if the Broncos lose to the Bills?
Well, then we're just back where we started.
Okay. All right, there we go. All right, at least that was somewhat of a normal take. All right, we got there.
Metcalf. Who do I like here? Yeah, I'll take DK versus Washington. Sure, why not?
Taking George Kittle, huh? Hope is
Yeah.
a dangerous thing. It is a dangerous thing.
Yeah, but when it hits, it hits.
Will it though? I didn't even know about this quote with Roquan Smith. So you put that in there. I didn't even hear of that.
Yeah. Roquan Smith on getting traded. And I forget where this comes from, but I copied the quote. So this is verbatim what he told some article. And when I just think about it from the perspective of having the opportunity to compete for 1 year in and year out with the talent we have, man, it makes me so happy. Just knowing my career is not going down the drain in the sense of playing somewhere where I'm not truly competing for a title. So basically he's saying getting out of Chicago was the best thing that could have happened for me. Thank God I'm here in Baltimore with the Ravens.
A little early, Jeff. But Geno Stone hasn't played well. I'm sorry. This is why it's so great to be in the same division as the Chicago Bears. Because I can say stuff, right? Like, I can say all the things I want to say, but it's just coming from me. But when it's coming from their current and former players, and they're describing being in Chicago as their career going down the drain, that is better than any insult that I could ever possibly come up with. So
yeah, I bet.
Thank you, Roquan Smith. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. That's true. Yes, that is true. It's gonna be primetime heaven. Hell. It's gonna be hell this weekend. It is. Let's go. Brandon didn't hit pick him, but Nick did, and that's what matters.
There you go, Nick. Heck yeah.
That'd be a 4-hour video, and that would just be part 1. That would be part 1. There you go. Daniel says, yep, high-low budget can affect your mood. So there you go.
Oh! That was the thing. We all thought, oh, Jay Cutler's going to be a bed of roses after this. Nope. He was still Jay Cutler.
He's still just Jay Cutler.
Okay, so
for that. This is accurate.
I've got a sneaky play I'm doing here. I'm going to take Terry McLaurin, and I'm going to stack him with quarterback. Where's Sam Howell, baby? Sam Howlitzer. I like the matchup here. Boom.
Okay.
There we go.
Okay.
Now we got a team.
There you go.
Now we got a team, baby.
Thank you, Dave. Thank you. I've done a lot for that award. I've done a lot. Oh,
okay.
Yeah, there we go. Sometimes get moody.
I do want to ask you.
Tell me.
What does it feel like to be nominated as Packers Fan of the Year, Tom? I know you did a stream. You probably talked about this quite a bit. But
I'll die.
What did you do this year to earn this nomination?
Nothing.
Yeah, that's what I thought, baby.
Yeah, no,
what did it feel like? How does it feel?
So it's I talked about this on the stream because, like, first of all, I can finally talk about it. So Perna was one of the few people that I told. I did. Also, Jess texted me yesterday. It was so nice. She's very.
I didn't even tell her. I kept it secret. You said I could tell Jess, but I
did
said
say
I
you could
tell
tell
no
Jess.
one.
So you could tell Jess. Yeah, I barely told anybody because the Packers were like, don't tell anyone. Meanwhile, I think the Dolphins Fan of the Year was like, I'm a Fan of the Year. Just random selfie pic. The Tony the Tiger from the Bengals, here you go. And I was like, I think I could say something. But when it happened, I got super emotional because it was just damn, it's really, really cool. I have a lot of conflicting ideas about Super Bowl stuff, but that's neither here nor there. But yesterday it kind of hit, and kind of that outpouring of support that occurred was crazy. And I was mentioning last night that this was kind of something that probably hit harder than a lot of anything else that has come before it, because 30 and 30, I'm still of the mindset of yeah, you're supposed to do that. That's what you're supposed to do. You're helping kids. That's just be a good person. That's what you're supposed to do, right? And so I was like, yeah, that's it. And he was saying that anytime we raise money for charity, any fundraiser, that's just, you don't need praise for that. That's just being a good citizen, like good person, just do that stuff. But this was, I didn't do it myself. Like I didn't nominate myself. I didn't go fill out an application. Like it
Right.
really felt like it was a gift, like from the fan base.
Yeah.
And like, that's what made it really cool. And talking to the Packers, Haley was like, there are so many people that just shared your story and just nominated you over and over again. And the first time I even heard of Fan of the Year was through the chat. It was a few months ago, like after 30 and 30, they're like, oh, Fan of the Year. And I was like, I don't even know the process of it. I looked it up and I was like, oh, yeah, that'd be cool. But like, I'm not going to tell people, like, go vote for me for Fan of the Year, because then that's weird.
Right.
So, yeah, it was really cool. Like, I actually got to sit with it and enjoy it yesterday. And yeah, like, I think it gets lost a bit because obviously now this is something that I've made a career out of like loving the Packers.
Yeah.
But like people, even with all of this stuff, like I love the Packers. Like from that minute when I was 6, obsessed. And like every game, every piece of merch, like I've never thrown out any Packers memorabilia, like ever. Like, dude, like these hats, like that's from when I think I was 6. That one was from when I was 7. Like I just keep them over all these years because I couldn't get my hands on them. Because I was in New York and like it was before the internet was really the internet. And so, you know, you couldn't buy that stuff. And now, like, just to have that, like, 27 years later, it's
pretty
cool
badass.
Yeah,
It's very badass.
It's
It's cool to see what you did obviously get recognized while you're doing it, and then it continue to be something that is associated with what you've done outside of just being like the Packers guy who talks about the Packers.
Sure.
It's like he's this guy and he's also doing all this cool shit outside of making YouTube videos, and he's using his videos to, benefit and help other people. So very cool. When you told me that, what is the first thing I said to you, Tom, when you told me?
So it's a true story. So I literally earmuffs, folks, because I gotta do it verbatim. So I called Perna and I was like, hey, so I tell him about Fan of the Year and he just goes, oh, so you're just gonna fucking win it. Like, I was like, well, I don't know, man. Like, there's gonna be a lot of like great people, like, fans. I don't know. He's like, no, you're gonna win it. Like, you're gonna win the whole thing. And I was like, that is really kind of you to say. I don't know, man, but maybe. You're like, yeah, you're gonna win. I don't know if I'm being biased, but you're gonna win. So that also clicked like about 45 minutes into the stream yesterday, and I was like, okay, like this is amazing. Let's go win this thing now.
Yeah, what we need the chat to do is identify which other Fan of the Years have a legit chance to beat Tom. In terms of like what, like, has anybody done anything comparable to visiting every NFL stadium and raising over $500,000?
See, but that's the thing. Like, I don't know if that should be like counted because,
I think so.
So, like, for example, like, because I know 2 of them, right? So Tony the Tiger, like, he does a ton of tailgating stuff, does charity stuff. He's known throughout the entire...
That's what I mean, and it's not like disparaging to anybody else. I just want to know like which fans out there have done like some really cool stuff for the team within the name of the team that are comparable to you, because like I just think like what you did is so like insane and like cool. I just want to know, because I think like in my eyes it's like not a chance anybody's going to compete with that. Like no. But maybe there is somebody, you know what I mean?
Well, there's that, and that's the thing too. Like fan voting is a component of it, and then it's also like it's like Captain Morgan, who's like sponsoring it. Like they have like a panel, and it's like based off somebody on the fan voting. It's like 10%. Then it's like fandom, like community work, like original spice, and no one looks at me and says that guy's spicy.
No, they're like,
so yeah, but yeah, like it'll be again. It was like an Oscar thing. I'm just so happy to be nominated. Like that is how I feel.
Yeah, it's very cool.
But oh no, we're gonna try to win this thing.
Very
1,000,000%. We're gonna try to win this thing. So, but yeah, no, it's cool. I appreciate you, buddy. It was a cool moment because it's just, feeling someone like in New York, Lambeau's over 1,000 miles away. And while of course I've gotten closer and able to go now because I can afford to go and like, go to training camp and all that stuff and, watch every single game. It was a cool full circle moment. That's just my team, baby. That's my
Anytime
team.
Tom calls me if he's streaming, then I know he's calling to
Ask a dumb question like, how
do
would you
that.
eat me?
That's cool. But outside of my first time, is he streaming right now? No. And then if Tom's calling me, I'm like, oh God.
Something.
Did my channel get shut down and he's breaking the news to me? Because I feel like Tom would notice that like before I do. He's like, did you check your YouTube channel? Because it's gone.
As I'm like looking at the like review, I'm like, all right, pretty close to 500,000 subscribers here. I'm like, I'm maybe within the next few days.
Yeah.
We're like going on a trajectory.
I'm like, oh God, what did I say? Did I tweet something that I shouldn't have tweeted? Hey, you might want to delete this. All right, let's go into some playoffs here.
The Vikings are going to win some games with Josh Dobbs. I don't know if it's going to be enough to make the postseason, but they're going to win some games. They are definitely going to win some games. You love rooting for Josh Dobbs. Hate the Vikings. We root for Josh Dobbs. You do. Oh, Perna, move to Ohio. You could be the governor of Ohio.
That's what I just said. I could be governor of Ohio. They just got that legal weed.
Yep.
They're on the up and up.
Oh, Edgar sent you a package.
Whoa, Edgar.
Let's go.
Thank you.
Oh, damn. All right, Sabi. I'm not going to lie. That's a nice way to put it. That's a nice way to put it.
Ooh,
Damn. I can't even beat him on that one. I can't even argue that one. That one's a good way to put it. That's a good perspective. It's a good perspective.
Use that in your acceptance speech.
I'm not going to we're not going to go that far. We're just going to hope. We're going to do what we can. And we're going to see what happens. We're going to see what happens. I appreciate you. I appreciate you. Honestly, this would be hysterical. I would die laughing. I would die. I don't even know who the Chiefs fan of the year is, but if they made it Taylor Swift, first of all, the league would riot, which would be amazing. But would I go up and snatch it from her and just be like, listen, Tom Grossi, really happy for it, but Tom Grossi should have won NFL Fan of the Year. Just have, just full circle. Circle. But then
Taylor,
also,
I'm gonna let you finish. I'm gonna let you finish.
But then also not say the things after that were said. But yeah.
One of the first YouTube videos I ever made was talking about that.
Is it really?
Yeah.
Just unhinged Perna talking about pop culture.
Ooh. They're like, hey, Tom, we know you did a lot, but how many 12-year-old girls did you convince to watch NFL football games this year?
Okay, thank
None?
God that went there. I got really
None?
scared. I was like, I don't know where this question's going, but I was like, I don't like where it's going. Hey, I actually was saying this, and this was on a stream, and we'll talk about playoff teams.
I don't think this would ever happen, Alex, but thank you.
Oh, I told Per it's happening. Oh yeah. Now that I know about this,
they can't acknowledge me. They cannot acknowledge me unless I'm next to Tom Grossi. That's the only way I've gotten any behind-the-scenes access. New president, Damani Leach, very cool.
Yeah, he tweeted at you. He responded to you.
He did.
I appreciate you, Derek. That was Ryan Grant, who I did a show with. He said something on Instagram. That was just nice. It's just kind.
That was what was really cool. Is seeing. I don't think I've ever seen something quote tweeted as much as the Packers tweet with you in it. It was just everybody from every corner being like, fudge yeah, baby.
And that was the thing too. The Packers put out a sentence and we're like, here you go, fan of the year. And people were like, what squad? I was like, that's so effing cool, man. It's just.
Did they tag you in that?
No.
I know they didn't at you, but I didn't see if they tagged you or not.
I don't think they did, no.
Oh,
I just follow them. So I saw it and I've been waiting for it because they told me it could be Monday or Tuesday. Yeah. I was like, okay. And then it didn't happen Monday. So I was like, all right, maybe Tuesday. And then
here's to Tom Grossi, who we don't know if he's on Twitter or not.
There is. So because I am the Packers nominee, I get 2 tickets to the Super Bowl, which again, we'll see what happens with that. But then also go to NFL honors and get flown out for a few days to Vegas. But I'm already going out to Vegas for the St. Jude dinner that I got invited to. And I am going to attempt to make it out there for Radio Row. We'll see. We'll see. That's nuts. That's crazy. Okay. Well, there you go. We got people in high school watching because someone swatted the whole high school. All right. I'm just glad everyone's okay. Everyone's okay.
All
All
right.
right, buddy. We gonna talk about this. I appreciate
Which
you,
playoff
Stan.
teams are real? Okay.
I appreciate you. You're next to Tom every Monday, Wednesday, Friday.
That's true.
Said you're
Well,
next.
right now I'm below him though.
Oh, baby. That's how I'll do it. That, like, I want to do full villain arc, Brandon. Like, that's how I get the NFL to just hate me.
Oh,
Is I
that would
just-
be good.
I just start doing it as all different characters. And they're like, you know what? This year, the Raiders fan of the year, Captain Finn Oakley. And it's just me in an eye patch and a pirate costume. Thank you.
If it was the Broncos character and you got the Broncos one, I would quit. I would quit YouTube
Breck.
after that. If it
Me
was
getting a
Breck-
jersey that said Grossi on it from the Broncos was already like, I don't know how I feel about this one. And then the Lombardis kind of saved it.
Yeah.
And you're like, all right, at least I got to see some Lombardis. So
Yeah.
I wouldn't be surprised if Scooter gets a nom too.
He
I
should.
wouldn't be surprised. I wouldn't be
All
surprised.
right. Of
That's
these
different.
top teams here, there's 6 in the top right now. I was about to say, like, I think all of these teams are safe to get into the playoffs. And I still think the 49ers are safe. But if there's
Yes,
one
I agree.
team that I think there's some concerns for, it is the 49ers in this top 6. I gave him that name too.
That is true. That is 100% accurate. Brandon Perna gave me the name. I was like, just give me a name and I'm going to make it that character. And it was like, well, Breckenridge. Yeah, Breck.
Yeah.
Yep.
Colorado people named their kids Breck after Breckenridge Ski Resort. So it seemed very Colorado.
Okay. So teams I think that are safe. Do you want to start AFC or NFC first?
AFC.
Okay. Chiefs, I think, are safe. They'll win their
Yep.
division. Ravens,
Yep.
I think, should be safe. Again, they're in a gauntlet, but they should be okay. Jaguars, I say yay. Because I think they're going to win their division.
Yeah.
Because I
See,
think
this
they
is
have-
great. What a great matchup. Jags,
Yeah.
Niners this week.
It's going to be so good. It's going to be so good. I'm looking forward to, like, keeping an eye on that game. Dolphins, I think, will be another team that will be there, whether it is winning the division or it's in a wild card spot. I think that there's a very good chance they get there. But that stretch that you're talking about, like going against the Jets, like going against the Ravens, the Cowboys, is going to be pretty indicative of how that season's going to go.
Yeah. See, and everybody like writing off the Dolphins because they lost to the Chiefs. I say just be careful because where are the Chiefs sitting? Number 1. Okay.
Yeah.
They're 7-2. They're a very
Yeah.
good football team. It was a 1-score game. It wasn't
Yeah.
like the Chiefs just
Blew them out. Yeah, no.
smacked them around. It was a close game.
And that's what I'm saying.
And
Like,
they've got to learn to win those close games. I
Correct.
completely agree with that. But
correct.
in terms
Yeah,
of
that's why
being
like,
a
they're not writing them off. Like they're
Yeah.
still a good team. For me, I was like, I can't put them in my top 10 right now because like they're just not like they'd be 11. It's just I can't like
Fair.
they have to beat a winning team for me right now. That's it.
fair.
All right. I will say out of these 3 teams, because this is where it gets tough, because it's the entire AFC North right now. The entire AFC North is in the playoffs if it started today. So I only believe in number 7. Like I believe in the Bengals. I think the Bengals are going to the playoffs. They're just playing really good football right now. Their defense is playing well. Their offense is playing well. And I think with the Ravens, they're the most balanced teams in the AFC North.
Yeah.
And the Steelers, Browns, there's questions for both of their offenses.
Yeah, I think the team that will miss the playoffs of those 3 is the Steelers. And I know Pickett's been solid in the fourth quarter, but I think the Browns, they're just a better football team. They're good enough when Deshaun Watson is on the field playing quarterback. Whether or not he can stay healthy, I don't know. And I'm not saying he is like very good, but they shut out the Cardinals. Poor Clayton Tune. But their offense does look better when he's out there. And I trust Deshaun Watson as a quarterback more so than Kenny Pickett. As a human being, I trust Kenny Pickett on every single level over Deshaun Watson. Not even close. But I think the Steelers are going to miss it. They're going to miss it.
So then, so here's the thing. Who takes their spot?
Oh, we got to go all the way down to number 15
Oh, Jesus.
for my prediction. The Denver Broncos, when they bounce the Billies this weekend. I like the Texans sneaking up here. I really do. That's going to be interesting with the Jaguars, right? How that sort of shakes out.
All right. So real quick with the Texans, they're playing the Bengals this Sunday. That might be. I'm curious if they play them really well.
Yeah.
That's gonna be like, oh damn, like they're here. They're here right now.
I love the matchup with the Texans because they have a legit opponent in the Bengals.
Yep.
And CJ Stroud to me looks the most like Joe Burrow of any quarterback we've seen since Joe Burrow in terms of like he's composed, he can make all the throws, he's doing it from the pocket, and he's doing more with less in terms of like known receiving talent than Joe Burrow did. And obviously Burrow had the knee injury but that was his rookie season, right? He tore his ACL.
Yeah.
So to me they're so similar, Stroud and Burrow, of just like no moment's too big. They're surgical out there.
He looks great.
That's a fun game.
So they're playing the Bengals, Cardinals, Jaguars, Broncos, Jets, Titans, Browns, Titans, Colts. That's the Texans schedule. So it's not like the easiest.
No, but it's
division rivals in there.
It's winnable.
It is. Do you believe oh my god.
No, I won't even think about the Chargers.
I don't.
They beat two bad teams, and we're gonna start thinking they're decent again, and they're gonna get their mouths punched by the Detroit Lions this weekend.
Okay.
And shout out to Gerald McCoy on the NFL Network for being a Justin Herbert truther like myself. His Herbert takes are spicy and accurate.
So which one you think out of all the, let's just say the Steelers are out, right? Out of all of those teams in the AFC, who do you think is taking their spot? And be realistic. Don't.
It's the Broncos. Okay, if it's not the Broncos, I gotta.
That's right. Like
I gotta go Bills. Go Bills, even though I think the Broncos are gonna beat. I think it's the Bills.
Okay.
The sneaky team is the Texans.
Sneaky team Texans, Jets if everything goes right, and that's going to be very difficult to do.
Yeah, I'll say it's the Bills. We'll replace the Steelers.
If the Chargers beat the Lions, then then there's definitely some respect going to be put on the name. 100%.
Yeah, they're not. They're not going to beat the Lions. As certain as I was that the Seahawks were going to get their ass kicked by the Ravens last week, I'm equally certain the Lions are going to beat the ever-living shit out of the Chargers. The Chargers are the most fraudulent team after the last 2 weeks on earth. The Broncos would destroy the Chargers this week. You beat the Bears and the Jets. By the way, Herbert had like 136 passing yards in that Jets victory. The Chargers won by 21 because that's how bad the Jets offense was.
Yeah,
but all that said, if the Chargers say the Broncos are out of the mix, I am rooting for you to win the division. I get the most upset by teams that let me down the most, Chargers. I can never root for the Raiders, even though I rooted up for them kind of this last week to show that Josh McDaniels was that bad. Now I'm rooting for the Raiders to lose again. I would love for the Chargers to be the team that dethrones the Chiefs in the AFC West if it can't be the Broncos. But now, Chargers, you got me believing that the Broncos are better than you and that we can beat the Chiefs in standings. We already beat them once. Now you go out there and do it.
Perna curse is real. The Perna curse is real. Yeah, I agree. I think Texans are the sneaky team. Bills are like they can fix it and they have the talent. It's just because it seems like it comes down to coaching. Of course, their defense is banged up right now, but
how funny is it to see the Patriots dead last in the AFC?
Yeah, it's rough, man.
They haven't been like good for a while now, but this is dead last. Dead last. Humiliate them? No.
Game. It was a close game. I had to stream that monstrosity. So.
They beat them.
Oh, here it comes. Here it comes.
Why are you Jets fans? What? I'm telling you how to fix your team.
Brandon, because the problem is like Jets fans are like, hey, like don't kick us while we're down. Because like
I'm telling you how to get it.
That we beat you guys. That's it.
Telling you how to get in the playoffs.
All right. What are you doing? Where are you? Oh, boy.
Oh, come on. Dude, the NFL's I hate.
Why don't you just type it? What are you trying to find?
Oh, a little preview there for research I did. You beat us by 10 points.
I
Oh.
really thought you were like looking up something good. You're just doing it to make a point. I'm just gonna let this rock. Yeah.
See, the difference is Zach Wilson actually outplayed Justin Herbert. Russell Wilson outplayed Zach Wilson.
Here we go.
Our defense was injured.
Why'd you?
We had not clicked yet. Okay? Don't you aggravate me, Jets fans.
Yep. Yep. There you go.
You derailed me. That's your fault.
Yep.
It's
me?
your fault.
I didn't do it.
All right. Yeah, not you. The chat.
Oh, okay. It would be a beautiful book.
I could never insult NFL fan.
I would
nominee
love
of the year. Okay.
I would love if Brandon Perna made an audiobook. I think you should write a kid's book. I think you should write a kid's book and do the audiobook for it. It would honestly be phenomenal.
Everybody poops. Part 2.
It already exists.
Why you should throw it on the walls, kids. Okay. Eagles safe. Lions safe. Niners.
Hope so, Dan. Better not be Honeydew though.
Niners, we got to see.
Okay. Eagles,
They've lost 3 in a row, so
I think the 49ers are going to be fine. Trent Williams, Deebo Samuel comes back. Again, Chase Young, I'm very curious to see how Chase Young does on that D-line because that is going to make that secondary look better if he's effective.
yeah. And he
So-
basically said something that was a little bit equivalent to Roquan Smith. They're like, what's going on in Washington? And he's like, I have no idea what they're doing over there. So, yeah, they're interesting. I think they're, oof.
Crank,
But can
I
they
know
come
you're
out
trying
and
to
beat the Jags? Like, this is tough.
I know you're trying to insult Perna, but that's also insulting me. Come on, man.
We
They
beat the Packers and we beat the Bears.
That is a rough list. They really have only won 3 games.
Denver?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait a minute.
Dude,
Wait a minute.
we're 15. We're
Wait a minute.
15.
They beat the Packers and the Bears, and you're talking about the playoffs?
Yeah, because we beat the Packers and the Chiefs in a row. Yeah, I know I'm going to sound crazy about this team. I'm going to sound crazy.
I didn't realize that. I didn't click for me. I like hearing that out loud, just be like, yeah, we beat the Packers and the Bears, the Chiefs too, but like
They
Packers
held
and
the
Bears.
Chiefs to 9 points. Okay?
Okay.
Our
Top
defense
10, I don't know.
is
He would definitely be
good
better, though.
again.
It would
All
be
right.
better. All right, Eagles safe. Lions, they should win their division, so that should be it. 49ers, I think, are going to be fine. I want to see the Seahawks play the 49ers, like because so Thanksgiving, for example, like that's that primetime game on Thanksgiving. That's gonna be huge because the Seahawks are gonna be able to be like, all right, if we're not beating the Ravens, same with the Lions, we're not gonna beat the Ravens, but can we win within our own division? And that's gonna be like the game that decides who wins that division. But either way, I think the 49ers are gonna make it.
Yeah,
I
I
think they'll
think
be
the
fine.
49ers are going to I think they're going to beat Jacksonville this week. But I want them to lose to Jacksonville and also still be fine.
Okay.
A 4-game losing streak in the middle of the season. I think the Jags are a solid team. Their defense tied now for second in turnovers, even though like they didn't play and they're still tied there. But this is a really important game for both teams.
But they haven't, Rogue, so we
Yeah.
have plausible deniability.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah, I
yes,
think
I
the
would.
Saints will win their division.
I would.
Seahawks are not safe.
Whoa,
to
whoa, whoa,
me.
whoa. All right, so you just rolled past. So the Saints, past 2 weeks, they actually had an offense the past
Yeah,
2
I
weeks,
said they're
which is
safe.
really
They're going to win
impressive.
they're going to win the South.
You think they're going to win the division?
I do.
Falcons, I just don't know what the hell they're doing.
Yeah.
Falcons, I don't know what they're doing. Buccaneers are, I think, the most like solid team. Like they're steady. I just don't know if like they're enough. I
No.
don't know if they're
They
good
keep
enough. And then,
losing. They're
Panthers
the Bucks are the same record as the Broncos. You know what I'm saying?
Seahawks. Here's the thing: the NFC's so weak. Like, look at who's on the bubble. The Commander, like, it's losing records.
Yeah.
Like,
The Commanders are going to beat the Seahawks this week. I think they are.
Here we go.
I think the
Okay.
Commanders are going to beat the Seahawks, Tom.
Okay.
They don't even
Commanders
need edge rushers.
could be a sneaky team that gets into the postseason, though.
Seattle?
No, the Commanders.
Yeah, they could be.
They could be a sneaky team, depending on like how good that defense is. But like Sam Howell just looks like he's the guy. Cowboys, I think, are fine, especially after like what they did against the Eagles. I think they're fine.
They got their get right
Vikings-
game. They're going against the Giants again.
Oh, good God. Yeah, that's true. That's true. Vikings, again, it's a garbage conference. Like the NFC is so weak. Can you scroll down a little bit? I don't believe in the Falcons. I don't believe in the Bucks. The Packers gonna be a long way back. Rams, no. Giants, like, like, it's bad.
Yeah.
It's real bad. We are doing that together, right? Brandon, we're streaming Monday Night Taylor.
Yeah, Monday Night Football, baby.
Yes, we are.
Yeah, I think what's going to happen here is, I think the Vikings are a lock. They're a lock in the postseason, Tom.
Really?
I think the Seahawks are going to fall out. And Commanders or, you know what? Commanders or Falcons will get it done. Taylor Heineke giveth and he taketh away. That last game is a great example of he threw a dumb pick late in the fourth quarter. He's going to do that shit. It's his Achilles heel. But then he led a game-winning drive.
Do you know how insufferable he was?
Just so happens
they ran the table.
They got out game-winning drived in that. And they got, who, if you had to pick between the Falcons or Commanders or Bucks, because I don't think I don't think it's the Packers. Which of those three you think could get in? If you had to pick
Falcons
one
and
of these
Bucks,
three teams.
it's going to have to be through the division, I think. The Buccaneers, again, I think are the more sturdy team. I think the Falcons have the higher upside, but I think they're limited by potentially their coaching and then taking a look. I like Heineke, but potentially that too. Packers, everything would have to go right. And I'm not going to get I'm very happy the Packers won. And I like the way they've been playing, their defense, that's been nice. But there's still a lot to fix. And going up against the Steelers is going to be a good challenge. But look at this right now. I know we're, about to enter into week 10. There's one team that's on the outside that has a winning record, and that's the Bills. That's the state of the NFL. And yeah. I know Perna's talking about the Broncos making the playoffs, but that's how crazy it is. There's so many mid teams this year that all they need to do is get enough, especially in the NFC. I think you have to have one win over 500, and there's a chance that you can hit the wild card.
Oh, yeah. And there's not even a clear-cut best team right now outside of maybe the Ravens, but
But that's not clear.
And they've lost more games than
the Eagles.
The Eagles, they're tied with the Chiefs. Both have 2 losses.
I know. It's weird. It's a weird year. And that's why I have to say the postseason this year, especially for the AFC, is going to be so effing chaotic.
Yeah.
It is going to be amazing. I cannot wait to watch because it really is unpredictable. And again, we still have a whole another half of the season to go. But it's going to be interesting. It is going to be interesting to see if there's a team that can pull away and be yep, we are going to be the foregone conclusion favorites. So, yeah. We'll see,
baby. Football all the way this time.
But Perna, what do you got coming out today? Power rankings?
Power rankings, as soon as I can edit it, will be up. And then That's Good Broncos podcast later. I'll be back for the Wednesday show. Haven't been there for a while.
There we go. Yesterday, put out the Fan of the Year video, rankings, also NFC and AFC North reaction to 9. So that means that today, it's just predictions. That's it.
Wow, just one, huh?
That's it. It's the first Wednesday where I'm not putting out multiple, so.
Nice.
Yeah. Let's go. It's going to be nice. I'm going to enjoy the day. Might go out to dinner or something.
Ooh, do it.
Why not, right?
We can go get a nice steak.
No.
A big old fat cheese steak. Tom Grossi loves cheese. Fan of the Year nominee Tom Grossi loves cheesesteak. Oh, I swear to God, if they call me because they know you won and they want a soundbite, that's what I'm giving them. You know what they say? Like, you would have thought this guy was from Philly the way he inhales cheesesteaks. Gotcha.
TCV, top 5 QB like Justin Fields? Come on now. We'll see if Justin Fields is actually back for Thursday. We didn't even preview the Thursday game, which is the Tank Bowl, Panthers Bears. I mean, I know he was like he's getting better. Like there's a thought that Fields might play, but same thing happened to Lions, but it won't be that way next year. I'm telling you, CJ Stroud keeps looking that good. It's gonna be a lot different next year. Gotta earn it, baby. You're gonna earn it. I'm telling you. I'm also really, I really want the Texans to make the postseason. Even if they lose in the wild card. I want them to make the postseason. I do.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But, folks, we appreciate you watching so much. We'll be back on Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 9 a.m. Mountain Time. Thank you so much for watching. I'm Tom Grossi. That's Brandon Perna. This is GPS. And you have been navigated.
Get your Tom Grossi approved cheesesteak. He loves them.